podcast is the same thing that we've been saying. That's how podcasts work.
Mhm.
Except ideally, we'd have our guest have more input than listening to me talk to you about how to do the podcast. But go ahead.
Usually. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Initiative. This is our podcast about interviewing people with all different kinds of careers, asking them what a typical day in their life is, having a chit chat with them.
We're
Don't
here to
look at
learn about
me.
you guys.
What are you looking at me for? You don't need to look at me. Great job. See, it's not that hard.
Fantastic.
Plus,
That might have been a little rusty.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
you did
The
great.
more
It's
I,
First shot, first
it
take.
You're
matters.
doing great.
You,
I'm tracking.
Thank you.
This,
Oh, thank you.
this
Don't
is
mind the screaming baby in the back too. My baby is waking up, but her dad'll help
Do not worry about
mind
that.
the child.
I was told
Totally
that there would be a
understandable.
sleeping baby involved, but I guess we have awoken.
Formerly sleeping child.
You should ask your guest what this is. One of the things. Excuse me, she said Dr. Pepper's coming back at me. One of the things after a little banter back and forth, you don't introduce your guest. What you can do is ask them to introduce themselves because we have a special guest. Hannah, would you like to introduce yourself like that?
Fantastic.
Ready?
You got it.
And joined with us today, we have a very special guest. Hannah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Myers. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I work in costume design for film and television.
Fantastic. It is so nice to meet you. And thank you again so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks. Nice to meet you guys, too. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think,
I think it's time we get started.
yeah, jump right into
Wait,
some questions.
who are you? No.
I'm so
No.
sorry.
Silly.
Introduce yourself.
All right. I'm just going to introduce myself again.
Okay.
Hannah, it's lovely to have you on. My name is Lucy, and I suppose I'm like a host also
Co-host?
for this
I
co-host.
love the
Yeah,
confidence. I love it.
Oh, yes. I'm maybe possibly question mark a host on this
Mhm.
podcast. No, I guess. I'm a high school student, and yeah, I'm excited to hear about you and your life. And
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited as well.
And I am Jovi. I am also a high school student. I'm a junior. I'm also very, very excited. We have been talking about this for so long,
been in the
honestly.
works for a minute.
It's been in the works for a fat minute. So, yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so impressed that you're in high school and kind of doing this whole gig. That's already such a amazing step in the right direction of kind of how the world feels, and to
Yeah.
do this podcast is pretty cool. So thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mr. Craig. I'm the whatever. So who cares?
I'm
What has been a long road we went through, and this is the second iteration, but I like it. And this is kind of an idea that came up a little bit organically, where I was a guest on a podcast talking about whatever it is I do, and then I brought that up, and students were like, "Can we do a podcast?" And I said, "Yeah." I mean, we already like live stream esports games and do video production stuff. We literally have the equipment in the other room, and so here we are. And then we got upgraded equipment before we even really got started.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
All right. Well,
we want to talk about. I want to talk about costume design because I think it's fascinating.
Oh, what a great thing to talk about with a costume designer. I like it.
Right. So one of the first things that I wanted to ask you when I heard what your job was, like who you are, is I was kind of curious when you wanted to do what you want to do. When did that spark?
Well, I would say I grew up with my dad being in the industry. He didn't do costume design, he did visual effects growing up. So I grew up being on set around the atmosphere of film and making a project. I always found it really fascinating and exciting, but having grown up in it, I didn't really think it was going to be something I would jump into. But I was the kind of kid who would take magazines and cut them apart and paste them on construction paper and make my own styling and magazines. And then I ended up going to San Francisco for college and studied women's apparel design. And I was thinking I was going to head more the corporate fashion route, and ended up over one summer during college interning as a production assistant, or we call it a PA, for a costume department. The The costume designer was Colleen Atwood, who is just kind of the queen bee. And I was really fortunate to get to assist her and learn from her, which was the biggest gift I think anyone could have given me in the industry, because I just look up to her so much and me everything.
Is she a bigger name in the fashion industry?
Yes, yeah, definitely within the world of film. She's won, you'll have to look her up because you'll know all the movies she's done. She won for Chicago, she did Memoirs of a Geisha, she recently did the Wednesday Addams series.
That's
so
I think that's
cool,
why I've heard her
yeah.
name before, because I kind of recognize the name.
For
That's probably
sure.
why.
Right, yeah, so she's kind of the real deal. She is a full-on designer, starts with a sketch, has a whole team of people create everything for her, and I was just one lucky piece of that puzzle when
Yeah.
I was in college to get to intern for her. And so I
Yeah.
ended up finishing college. I left San Francisco, moved back to Los Angeles, and then started my career in film.
That's
That's
really cool.
awesome. Yeah, and it must have been so cool to work with somebody like that. Yeah.
Hi, it's
Sorry.
me. I'm gonna
Mhm.
jump in.
Okay, great.
That I think a lot of the things that got it kind of lost when we talk about this podcast is about opportunity and inspiration, and I think one of the biggest things, and you sort of touched on it, was it's very much a social game, and like if you know somebody and if you can get a hold of that person and you can talk to these people, that goes so far,
Mm-hmm.
so far, and you get so many opportunities that you just need to go and talk to as many people as you want, because I can say, and this is what I say to people that I meet, Hannah, I want to tell you that I don't know what will become of this relationship, but I do know what will become of it if we never talk.
Right.
It's nothing, but there may be a time like, hey, I talked to somebody else that referred you to us, and I said, yeah, I want to talk to him because that's one more person to know. And I think that is a really important thing, especially in the entertainment industry. Everybody seems to be saying kind of the same thing of, yeah, I just happen to know somebody, or I fell into a position, or I happened to be at the right place at the right time, or talk to the right person at the right time.
Right.
Talk to people. That's maybe
Yeah,
is that
I mean,
why
that's
hold
the
on, is that
entire
why we're
point of the
here?
podcast, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah. It's almost like that's the whole reason that we're doing this,
Oh,
to,
okay.
yeah,
Maybe that's
connect with,
even the idea behind the name. Maybe that's even the
right?
idea behind the name.
Maybe.
Taking initiative.
Maybe.
As we build up and we interview and talk to more people in cool positions, it doesn't necessarily mean that you two are going to end up being a costume designer, but maybe you'll hear that your friend really likes clothing design, and then we'll say, "Oh, we talked with someone, watch this podcast. Oh, you want to meet her? I bet we could call Hannah again and say,
Right.
oh, she would
Yeah.
love to talk to you." I'm putting you on the spot that you're a creative.
I'm a very chatty person, and I love having new people in my network. So I'm always happy to be that name, because I completely echo that. That is the whole way that I started my career, and it's how I continue to build my career. Film is not a normal job in the sense that you apply to a position and then you're considered from a pool of applicants. Sometimes it works that way, but most of the time it's, a friend you've worked for or a boss you would like to work for who has been passed along your name, or you read a production report and you want to jump alongside that group of people making that project, and you have to self-advocate for yourself and reach out. And it's a challenging industry in that way, because if you don't have the ability to represent yourself, you won't get very far. But if you can advocate for yourself and be kind to people and enjoy who you work with, that goes a long way, and you'll do great in this world.
Everybody likes working
100%.
with their friends. I mean, with people that they're friendly with. Nobody really
Yeah.
working with like the obnoxious people, which is
Yeah.
why
Totally.
I'm not really
Right.
sure how I got here, because I feel like I'm
I don't
probably
know.
obnoxious, but I have to deal with me
Be
the same way.
entertaining sometimes.
I mean, it's the combination of kindness, but also humor and sass hand in hand. They all go a long way.
Right?
It's important.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
that-
Seriously. You just have to have personality. That's what I think.
So, how close do you work with, I mean, obviously close, but like, how close do you work with actors and actresses on these sets, and who do you meet?
I work right alongside them. Within a costume department, there's quite a range of different roles you can play. The boss of the department is the costume designer, and then there's kind of a lot of positions below that designer. And it also depends on if the movie is a contemporary film where most of the costumes are shopped from a store, or if it's a period film where we make almost everything, or if it's a Marvel film where it's starting from a sketch and we really have to make everything. But going back to your question, when I'm hired on as the position I currently am, which is called a key costumer or an assistant costume designer, I work basically one level below the costume designer. I help take their vision, read the script, and then delegate the tasks to our
That's
team of
cool.
people who are making everything. So I'm usually in all the fittings with the designer, talking with the actors about how they see the character. We usually build their costumes from that first fitting. And then once we have decided and fit them in everything they're going to wear for the show, depending on if it's TV or film, I then go to set with the designer every day. We call it establishing the look, where we get the costume on camera for the first time the way they want it exactly. And then I have a team of people on set called set costumers who then maintain the costume and the continuity of the costume. Because we don't often shoot things in the order of how the script appears on screen. It's often shot out of order based on our shooting schedule.
Yeah.
So sometimes if a look is supposed to start clean and they start in a grocery store and then the grocery store explodes and they get shredded, we might start shooting with the shredded look because of the actor's schedule. And then we then have to match everything to what it would have looked like pre-explosion.
That sounds like a lot
Right.
of work.
Yeah, a lot of
A lot of
parts.
effort.
Yeah, a lot of people working together to make it all cohesive and whatnot.
Right.
I think I'd really like not having to decide what to wear because, like, I just wear t-shirts
Yeah.
and jeans.
Yeah.
But like to go somewhere and to be like, you're wearing this
Right.
and this, and then
Be nice to have somebody
just
decide for you.
yes, just dress me so
You
that
would
I
think so. I get a lot of pushback from actors
well
that
Really?
of what
they
I'm putting
they
them in that day, but
Yeah.
it's pretty
they
easy.
they
Uh-huh.
may worry about their look more than I do. But I just don't want to have to pick out the shirt, or at least like lint roll it or something. Uh,
Right. Yeah, we do
I,
all that
I
for
think it's really
you.
easy.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
just
I
lazy?
mean,
Well, now I feel
Everyone
worse
has
about
their
myself.
everyone has their
if somebody is just happens to be there to do the energy and the work for you, then it's nice.
that is
See,
true
I get it.
point.
you two have really cool clothes, and I just have a t-shirt. They are all way more fashionable than me.
I applaud
them.
that as well. I'm liking the vibe, you guys. You look good.
Jovi has fantastic fits every single day.
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
don't know where she gets
figured I
them.
would.
Oh, please
This
tell.
this is H&M.
Excellent.
It used to be like a full length. I cut it up and put a bunch of holes in it and stuff.
Okay, so that's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then this I got at the thrift store, this skirt.
What's your
Thrift
favorite
stores are
hole making tool for your clothes?
My scissors. My scissors.
yeah. Scissors are really good.
And my knife is a
Those
close
don't look
second.
like they don't look like clean cut holes. They look just like
Well,
Yeah.
scissors
so.
still
Good job.
have
Anyway,
sleeves.
so if you
Could
need
go
to,
into the world of aging and dying. That's one of our positions in our department is taking
Yeah,
garment
speaking
that
of
would be
and
really.
shredding
yeah,
it.
roughing things up, making them look like they came out of explosions and
Something I
stuff.
was curious about was how often do you guys actually clean the costumes? Because I hear a lot about
Yeah.
like sets sounding just feeling disgusting and costumes being like so grimy and covered in sweat.
Yeah, I mean, anything that needs to work the next day on the same actor, we always clean things. It just also depends on where we're shooting the project. Sometimes we're in the middle of nowhere where we don't have dry cleaning. So the costume trucks that we prep all of our costumes on when we are finally filming the project have washers and dryers on them. And then at the end of every shoot day, we send out all of our laundry to a dry cleaner, and they literally do it overnight and then send it back to us at like 4 a.m. the very next morning to work,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I mean, that's part of the movie magic. I don't know how they do that.
Tell that to
Right.
Yeah. But then for the scenes where it's 300 background actors that we then have to clean
Yeah.
overnight and get back the next morning, we have this kind of cowboy trick where we call it vodka spray, and it's literally vodka and water that we like spray all over the costume, and it helps basically sanitize it if we can't like physically wash it perfectly, because a lot of times if you've aged it there is dirt and grime on it and you can't just throw it through a
Wait,
wash
I was
machine.
gonna ask, do you have to redo that kind of stuff after it's all like washed and dry cleaned and whatnot?
So, yeah, it depends on how much aging it has received. Oftentimes, if it's like covered in dirt or mud, let's say, we will create probably 8 of that garment so that we have plenty for the actor to wear that haven't been worn before but have the aging already on it. Because oftentimes something like that can't be washed, so we need to have another one available for them the next day that they would be able to wear. Or if we have that actor in that scene wearing something muddy, there might be a stunt double who also has to wear the same exact costume. So we have to get a certain amount of each particular item in that costume so that either a stunt double or a photo double, or there's a variety of people who will stand in as the actor if the actor either can't do the work or isn't going to be there that day. There's a
Right.
whole bunch of that too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, speaking of just like the whole aging process and everything that goes
Ugh,
into making and
I hate
creating
getting old.
garments,
Ugh.
and I haven't gotten that far yet. Do you have like your own kind of process when it comes to creating the concept? Like, do you like to make mood boards, or is there sort of like a ritual that you do when it comes to creating the image?
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question. I feel like with each person in costumes, we often have kind of a different process of how we do that. I use a software called Canva. I'm not sure if you maybe
Yeah.
are familiar with that. It's really great. It's like so easy to use and it's similar to Illustrator, but a little simplified.
All schools get free education, the educational version, which is basically the pro version, which is
Okay.
really cool. You just, any schools out there, you just talk to your director of technology and they can hook that up for you. And it's literally free accounts and it's phenomenal.
It is a
It's
really
great.
useful
It's
tool.
pretty helpful. Every single assignment in every single class, I've probably used Canva at least a little
Obviously.
bit.
Nice. That's so cool that it's also being used in schools too, because I really wish if I could go back, I wish I would have had something like that software.
Right.
For my purposes, it's great because I do so much research. Normally, when I jump onto a project, I start by reading the script to know how many characters are represented in the script.
Definitely.
And then I work alongside the costume designer to create mood boards for each particular main actor, but also for every type of uniform we see anytime there's a party or a funeral, or if we're
Yeah.
shooting in Mexico and then they go to Brazil, I have to kind of create a visual mood board that helps guide the conversations the costume designer will have with the director to make sure that we're making that
Do you
vision
guys jump
come to
around
life.
that much? Do you jump like that much? I knew actors changed where they were, but is it that
Mhm.
often?
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
For travel or for the number of looks?
Travel.
It depends on the script, but yes, I mean, I've personally lived on location for 6 months at a time where I'll go and live in
Oh, wow.
Atlanta or Savannah. It just depends on wherever they're filming the project. And then
Georgia.
oftentimes where they film it, it might not be like, let's say we went to Savannah, they might not be filming it to look like Savannah. They might film it to look like Paris, but
Right.
the money that they could get for that project made them go to Savannah.
100%.
That's really interesting. The amount of costume and like planning ahead of time. No, not even having talked to you previously, I've never been like, you probably should know how many changes of clothes and what they're wearing because I've never been in a situation on a show or on set that as an actor
Mhm.
where yeah, I know. I was an extra just recently on a movie.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, there's the
know.
hat for it.
Yeah.
We
You're
can't talk about
famous.
Told
that.
me all
It's
about how you
Oh boy.
so the good news is that's super interesting that is a part that literally has never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And more people I talk to in the entertainment industry or talk to students that are interested in videography or cinematography, the more it ruins TV shows and movies because the
I
magic
know.
gets lost. And it's
Right.
We're
really
all so jaded. I'm the worst to watch a TV show with because I point
I
everything out.
so I
I mean,
was
once you notice it, it's just like it just pulls you right out of it, and it can be like the
Mhm.
smallest little detail.
I talked to
Yeah.
a script supervisor, and he was like, "I'm the one that makes sure that the whatever, like the sandwich I'm eating, is the same size,
Yep.
like
In the
the
same
continuity."
place in the
Right.
script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I guess you probably would need to know that, especially since you do shoot out a sequence and you don't just shoot like, it's not just one and done. You probably do multiple takes and multiple different I said, "Oh, okay, so that's another thing." And now you see when someone's eating their sandwich, and then the next time it's a full-size sandwich, and then the next time it's a little tiny sandwich, and it drives me insane.
Yeah. Or for me, it's always the zipper. When the zipper is all the way zipped up and then they cut to the
Yeah.
conversation, they cut back and the zipper's open. It's like,
Or
what?
necklaces, like when the
Yeah.
back of a necklace is like behind the person's neck and then it's like on the side and then it's like back again.
Can
Those things drive us crazy. And that's the job of a set costumer. Once I'm on set, I establish how I want it to look with the designer.
For sure.
So we tell them, make sure the necklace is
Yeah.
centered, the clasp needs to be
I
in the back.
imagine you have to be somewhat of like a perfectionist for that kind of
Have
stuff.
to. Have
how
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
how do you feel when it comes to, like and I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but in film or TV where the actor doesn't wear a helmet because, like, we're paying for whoever the A-list actor is, and they should be wearing a helmet because it is in a military movie or something, and they just never wear them. That drives me insane because I'm like, there's no way that whoever that actor is or whatever role they're playing, they would be able to go out without a helmet
Right.
on.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of those things within our department where we'll be given direction. Like, let's say I'm working on a period show from the 60s, and we'll be given direction from the director or from an actor of how they want it played, but it's not period correct or appropriate. And it's so hard for us because we do so much research to get it right. And
Right.
no one will ever know that it wasn't our decision to do it that way. We were told to do
Yeah.
it that way, But it's like when the boss asks you to do it, it is what it
Right.
is.
Yeah. When you have all of these moving parts that you do and, something doesn't add up, it yeah, affects
Throws
the
off
whole
the
thing.
visual.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of something that has happened? Like, you don't need to use names or show titles or anything.
Yeah.
Something, because I imagine if I were to be in this position and how critical I can be, like somebody that said, "Oh, we want to, get a zip up whatever," and you say, "Well, zippers didn't exist until
Right.
whatever day, so I don't know why we're putting zippers on things."
Right.
Do you have an example of that where it has come into play for you?
Yeah, I was working on I'll give as much info as I can, but I was working on a Netflix show, a movie a couple years ago that was supposed to be based in the 60s. And they asked us to include a character in the show that the character hadn't even been created until the 80s. So, and this character looked very reminiscent of the 1980s. So for
Mhm.
us, it felt like it was going to look really out of place
Yeah.
because
What in the time traveler is this?
right.
Yeah.
Because everyone else in the shot is from the 1960s, and the 60s are so recognizable,
Yeah.
but
Right.
these are also so recognizable in their own way. And so it was this challenge of, okay, are you asking us to take this 1980s character and make them look like the 60s, or do you really want this character to look like they're from the 80s, but they happen to be in this film that's about the 1960s?
Right.
So in that instance, the director's opinion was the one that ended up playing out. And, we did our best to make it look congruent to the shot. But with 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 those kind of moments, there is kind of this hands-off approach where you have to present all your solutions, all the options of what it could be. But ultimately, they, as the director or the studio, are the ones who create the vision and make the final decisions.
That'll
I
make me
Right.
mad.
I have so many
Yeah.
questions. I need you guys to
Frustrating.
ask
That's all
questions
you
that
can do,
are up
right?
here for me so
Mhm.
that you ask them and I don't
I have
have
a
to.
notebook
I
right
need a
here. You
piece of
need it. I've got it.
paper. I'm
I
gonna
actually
write some
wanna
questions down.
I think that's what I love about what I do because when you start talking about costumes, people forget just all the details that go into it. And I think a lot of times people assume we go to a counter with a bell and say, I need 30 Caesar looking soldiers by tomorrow and they need to fit perfectly and they're going to go on camera and then I'm going to bring it back and it's going to be all good.
No, it's so much more
So you were
complicated
working
than
on
that. Yeah.
Fallout then, huh?
No, I wish. That would be cool.
Keep the Quanta, the Nuka-Cola and quantum bottles.
What is
Those are
the
fun.
most costumes you've made? Like, what's the most costumes you guys have had to make? I'm imagining like 600 costumes
For like
for all
a
your
set
background guys.
project.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I have a number, but I helped assist a costume designer named Jeffrey Curlin, who's amazing, on the newest Haunted Mansion for Disney, the one that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. And Jeffrey is a costume designer who is known for making things from scratch, which is
That's really cool.
so challenging and so exciting all in one because you literally have to start with a sketch and then make the sketch a physical garment.
Yeah.
So on that particular job, I feel like we made so many beautiful things that I don't even know if I could count them all up. I mean, down to like what the socks that the little boy wore or the like clear bucket hat that Danny DeVito wears in the movie. Like we would source the vinyl that you then find
Wow.
a sample hat for and then make that hat into a clear bucket hat.
Do you guys like, hand sew most of the time on set? Like with anyone, do you normally end up hand sewing or do you actively make the costumes on set or is that like someone else's job?
So that's someone else's job. I have a whole team of a workroom of people who are so much better than me at what they do with stitching. I learned a basic training of that in college, and I definitely could do that if I was asked, but I'm within a union, and so within our union classifications, we're only allowed to do certain jobs within our department. So I have to hire people who serve as we call them cutter fitters, which is someone who creates a pattern for a costume. And then there's also a whole workroom of stitchers who are literally the people stitching the costumes that we figure out. But and then the people who work on set, the set costumers, they have to have the ability to do quick repairs. Like if there's a scene where someone does the splits in the air and then their pants accidentally rip, I need that person to be able to stitch it up really quickly so that they can do the next shot without the pants having ripped.
One of my favorite things that I've seen at conventions like anime or gaming conventions or any of that, there are people that go around that have like they're cosplaying as a I mean, I guess it's not really cosplaying. They just have like all of the repair equipment. So they
Yeah.
have portable hot glue guns. They have pieces of PVC. They have all sorts of things, and they just like pull out their backpacks and fix people's costumes.
Yeah, we all have our own kit that we keep on set of just I call them cowboy tricks. It's like all the things. One of my favorite tools is called a tagger gun. It's basically what a department store uses to put a price tag onto a garment. It has that little plastic hanger thing that you then pull off when you buy the garment. But we use those to quickly hem pants.
Oh,
And so it's a really easy way. You turn the pant leg under really quick, you use the tagger gun. They're clear so you don't see them on camera. And then it's as if you've stitched the bottom of the pant leg. So
yeah.
we don't do that on like the
Yeah,
principal
smart.
lead actors, but for someone in the background who, we had to fit quickly, we'll just do a quick operation.
My wife
Yeah.
was using one of those this morning. And in fact, she thought it was the hair dryer that woke me up, but it was her going ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
Yeah, with the tagger. Yeah.
I'm not going to remember the name, but maybe they'll sponsor us. There's this clothing rental company where they ship her a thing of clothes that she picked out. And so she can just wear those clothes, throw them in the bag when she's done. No laundry, no nothing, just send it back. But we have one of those it's like this little green thing, and you can stitch up clothing with these little clear.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's so cool. I was just
Yeah.
putting
Sounds
things
really
together.
convenient, honestly.
It is. I don't think probably not the most hardy of.
No, it's not like
Quick pinch
you
back.
should get it altered if you're going to use
Yeah.
it forever. But when you need it as a quick fix, it totally does the job.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Never was really into stitching, but now I just like playing with that.
Well, I feel like stitching
Yeah.
is
Like
it's
I need to get my
becoming
hands
kind of
on
a lost art because we don't do home ec anymore in school. I kind of wish they did offer that class still.
I
I
know.
actually
I
don't
was
know what
actually
that class is.
Are you serious?
am
I was
serious.
so mad when I got to high school and I realized that I was not going to be able to take a home ec class.
I don't
Yeah.
want to expose you, but your mom used to teach it.
I know.
Your
I know.
mom-
They need to bring it back. I am such I didn't take it in high school either. I was too young. They didn't offer it, but it would be so helpful for people to know all those skills again.
We had some stuff in the back. We have an esports room, and I cleared out all of it. It's got a bunch of computers and stuff in it. But I was clearing it out, and there was bins and bins of sewing stuff and material and swatches of whatever. And I actually put shelving out in the library, just on the other side and
Oh
kids
yeah.
like all the knitting and quilting and jewelry design and all that. The materials are out there that kids can use, and some have
Great.
started. We also took the sewing machines and have brought those out, so some students have been sewing and learning without a class, which is
That's
also
great.
what you guys are doing with this, is
Yeah.
that we don't have a
Nice.
class for this. And we kind of just decided
Yeah, we
that it
just
would
did
be
this.
worth learning, so we're
Yeah.
doing it.
I love that.
It like to go digging in that little box of
I was
trinkets,
just
and
gonna
I
say
find-
I've rifled through those
I
bins.
make earrings out of things that I find there. I've never sewed with that
Yeah.
stuff though, which is kind of obvious because it's like buttons and yarn. But
Yeah.
Right. Need to take some yarns for crocheting. I just learned how to crochet, and it's so fun. And I need to go.
So addicting. It's such a fun hobby that you just can throw everything away and do it all day. Maybe it's a phrase my mom used growing up, but
Just out of
essentially it's just a way to do something not necessarily quickly, but kind of off the beaten path, using
love
something
it.
you wouldn't really know could be used for that job
Just-
and
the
getting creative.
unconventional way.
yeah,
I love it.
that
Yeah.
is such a nice little phrase. I
I'm
might
into
steal
that,
that.
yeah.
That's
Tablet
actually
trick, yeah.
Right?
Can't steal phrases here. Anything
I
that you
give you permission. I'm not going to come after you.
Well,
I
thank
just
you.
can't take ownership over it. I didn't create it, but I use it for my own use too.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's so cute.
I'm gonna start doing that too.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely stealing that. So have you ever acted on scene? Have you been an actress instead of just a costume designer? Just a costume designer. Sorry.
Not professionally. I mean, I did drama growing up and
Totally.
did a couple things in high school, and then I actually have been a stunt girl when I was younger.
I was curious about that. Yeah.
So since my dad did visual effects growing up, he was
Yeah.
always really good friends with the stunt guys on set. And so there was a couple movies as a kid that they put me in to be a stunt girl, which is hilarious, but it was fun
Yeah, it's
back in the
fun.
day.
That's fun.
I would love to be a stunt double. I think I would be horrible at it, but it sounds fun.
It's a crazy job. I
Yeah.
mean, they're doing insane stuff on set.
I have good
Yeah,
news for you then,
totally.
because hopefully a couple weeks, we're going to have somebody that he's the stunt coordinator and stunt performer, and he was
Nice.
just in How to Train a Dragon.
Oh
And
wow! I just watched that a few days ago. It's great.
so you saw him get
Still
blown
haven't
up
watched that.
from Toothless.
oh my
He
goodness.
was there. He showed me a video because when we were on scene, at the movie that I was on, no big deal.
No big deal.
No big
Name
deal.
dropping.
The students that they were production assistants, and it was really cool because I didn't realize that when you're shooting a short film, it is also the same as a normal length film. People wise, it just doesn't take as long. So it was super interesting because I was like, oh, there's going to be like 4 people here. No, there were like 40. And they had
Yeah.
this actual stunt coordinator that has been in 88 different movies, and it's ridiculous. And he was like, yeah, they needed a stunt coordinator because it's a SAG
Right.
thing, and they needed to make sure that it was safe. So I came up for the day, but he wants to come up and sit here and talk with you guys.
That sounds
So-
awesome, and I would love to see him.
Oh, you're busy
Right.
that day. Sorry,
Looking
you're gonna
forward to it.
you're gonna have to watch the podcast. He's funny.
But yeah, stunt guys have the craziest
They
stories.
Yeah.
they have to be.
I remember when you were first
Insane.
mentioning this, and I said like you've got to be a very specific kind of character to be a stunt double.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like
Who would go into it like want to go get I want to go get blown up, or I want to go get
throw
caught
myself
on fire.
around.
Some
Yeah,
people, I guess,
the days with the fire are always the crazy ones. I don't
Was-
really like being on set on those days. It's always kind of scary.
they
I would imagine.
burn your hard work, and that seems disrespectful.
Right? Yeah, we always have to coat it in some
Fire,
goopy,
gosh,
crazy
fire.
fire,
fire
Yeah.
jelly.
resistant
Is
thing.
that when the actors complain, or is that just for the clothes?
I mean, all of the above.
Yeah.
All the above.
It just depends on who the actor is. Most of them are nice, but there are some of them who,
Yeah.
are not so nice.
Yeah. I'm
No
with
name
you.
dropping
There's a
unless it's
mix.
me. You
Yeah,
guys can name drop me, is what I'm saying.
I would name.
Fantastic.
He's like, please name drop me.
Somebody, please say my name.
So, what on earth is setting people on fire on set like? That sounds really scary.
It is really scary. It doesn't happen very often anymore because I think they know better now, and there is a lot of risk with it, so they don't do it as much. Yeah, and they often don't do very many takes of it because it's hot and scary, and so they usually have everything really organized. And they call it a closed set where they only have a limited number of people on the set that they need that day, so that there's not, chaos happening that they don't need to focus their attention on.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I was also told that they don't, from our friend that you'll talk to. He was like, we don't even run people over with cars that often anymore.
What?
Yeah, I know. Come on, of all the things.
And even with me working as a stunt kid, I was in second grade when I did it. They don't do that anymore. They don't use kids anymore. It's just adults that are really tiny now that we use as kids.
Yeah,
Huh, that's really funny. That makes sense, but
it does.
Would
Interesting.
I have as a parent,
Yes.
I would find it difficult to allow. I'm not okay. So this is going to sound like I'm bashing your dad, but I'm not. I'm sure he's great.
No, it's okay. I give him a tough time anyways. Don't worry
But
about it.
man, I cannot imagine stunting my kid in TV because even thinking back, and I'm talking further in like the B's and C's when
Right.
that was like, oh hey, do this cool trick. Oh, it's an actual train, and we just hope you don't die, but you probably.
Yeah. No, I think he was very selective there were only certain of his buddies that he would let, then hire us to do the stunt work. Because there's a lot of movies he's worked on that he would never have, let us participate in.
I was like scrolling or something at one point and I heard a story of it was way back when. I actually think it was like the 90s or something. And these guys were going to film like something and they went to do a stunt in front of a train and the guy didn't run fast enough and died.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why they have stunt doubles.
Well, when
No,
you're
but even
in front of
still,
a train,
that is kind of the dark part of our
always a
industry, to be
possibility.
honest. Stuff like that
Yeah,
still
that's
happens.
horrible.
accidents
It's
happen.
awful. It doesn't happen very often, but there are moments where things happen on set and it's
Yeah,
not
Thanks for
good.
bringing that existential dread in.
Yeah.
We wanted.
Dun dun.
That was her job for today, was to
Yeah.
bring the energy level way down.
Yep, just drag everything away from happiness. So I hope I do that.
Well, I think it's also good to be realistic though with the job and talk about
yeah,
what does happen.
It was
yeah. And when it comes to like accidents and whatnot like that, is there anything that you do in the costume department as preventative measures? So, like,
Totally.
in case you're doing like
Good
fire
question.
scenes,
question.
like
Yeah,
fire
totally. I mean,
stuff.
that's part of so in addition to fittings that I have with the lead actors, I also do a fitting with every single stunt person. And oftentimes when I know it's a stunt fitting, I will ask them if they know what they're doing in the scene, because we will have to accommodate for padding underneath their costume, or if they're wearing a harness, or if they need me to provide Under Armour or things that are going to help keep them safe, because that's always a priority for us too. And we usually ask to see the stunt rehearsals so that we know what has been talked about, so that nothing happens regarding their costume to put them in harm's way during the shot, because that would be terrible. And if it's something that's preventable, why wouldn't we put in the work ahead of time to make sure that everyone is safe,
So
Yeah.
does costuming also encompass any level of props? So, or is prop a whole different thing? Because I imagine like a samurai film or something, and weaponry, swords, scabbards, all of that. And also, I don't know if that was a question, but I'm gonna is my question sound? And then I have a animal related question. I'm so excited. I'm gonna write it down. I figured out that my handwriting is very bad. So my
was
first
really
question
surprised.
is
idea.
whatever I just asked. Oh, props.
Yeah. Yes. So there is a prop department. It's a separate department from us, but we work hand in hand with them, because there are many articles on the actor that it's kind of crossover between our two departments.
Mhm.
Like right now, I'm working on a space TV show, and so we're building a costume that should look like a spacesuit. But there's parts of that costume, like the helmet, that oftentimes gets taken off of the actor and they have to hold it and play with it, and that would be technically considered a prop normally. Anything that the actor touches or interacts with during the shot. But then there might be things like sunglasses where they do take it on and off, but we need something aesthetically that's going to make sense with the costume. So we often at the beginning of a project have a sit down with the prop master to determine what each department will do specifically for each character and where we will work together as well.
Master is such a cool title.
Prop
Yeah,
master.
very,
Yeah.
very nice.
Very old school.
Mhm.
Wow. I want a job title name that has master in it. I don't care what
Yeah,
it is.
that'd be
Like,
hilarious.
right?
That'd be really funny.
I want to, be like a
Have you
board or
gotten
something
to,
of
or will
land.
you be able to at some point, do make costumes for animals?
Yeah,
Or
I have before.
horse armor by any chance?
Not horse armor. No, I did Lady and the Tramp for Disney probably 5 years ago, something like that. So we got to make costumes for dogs, like real costumes for dogs, and it was the cutest
Adorable.
thing ever.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was so fun because all the costumes were supposed to be from 1910.
Oh my
So they
gosh.
were like
Love
period correct corsets and dresses for schnauzers, and it
Yeah.
was just pretty
That's
cute.
With a
adorable.
corset's made out of whalebone.
Cute.
Originally, yes. We didn't do it that way, but yes. Good job.
You peel back a little bit of the facade of TV and film
Mm.
when they don't use whale bones in their clothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm focused on too, Craig.
Right?
Scott, I'm
My
not gonna watch
gosh.
it. I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna watch it.
honestly, like I think that if you're aiming for historical accuracy, then you should have whalebone.
Give
in
me
you.
whale.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
want-
know. We dropped the bar there, guys.
Do
I
you
know. What are you doing?
research clothing, right? And so like period, what's your favorite period of oh, no, sorry, you're gonna ask?
Question.
You ask. No, you ask. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm just kidding.
No, ask.
That's so hard. I've worked on quite a few projects based in the 1960s, which I've always loved the 60s. I would like to work on a 1930s project. A lot of those don't really happen anymore, but
Yeah.
that is a period that I just think is so beautiful and so classically cinema, like old school Hollywood iconic.
Was he Blinders 30s era?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Because it's just like everyone's wearing a suit and a hat, and everybody looks slick unless you look like bad.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. But those type of shows don't get made that often anymore.
Yeah, I
Huh.
can't tell you the last time I've seen anything from that time period. Seriously though,
coughing a
such
lot
a
over there.
yeah,
Six.
a very cinematic time period, definitely.
Yeah. Right.
I want to see a movie from like the Roaring 20s that has like. I need to see like an old movie. There's probably so many, and
Oh
I
my
just haven't
God.
There
watched
are
any.
movies, yeah.
Yeah, look at all the like TCM classics. That is always a place to
Yeah.
start. All the old black and white films. There's
you.
so many good ones.
I don't know if you know.
Love that.
I have a very difficult time watching older movies or TV shows, even if they don't like. My wife rewatches Friends all the time.
Yeah.
That I can't stand watching it. But there was something weird that happened in like in the 80s or like the 70s, and I don't know enough about film history, but in like the 70s, films looked good, and then the 80s, everything looked absolutely terrible,
Right.
and then it looked really good again, and then it kind of looked bad for a little bit, but now it's back to looking really good. And I don't know anything about that, but I just happened to notice that. So now you all
I think it's the evolution of film. I think when they used to shoot on film, it looked really good. And then we got digital and it didn't look so good. And then
Yeah.
they did better with digital and now it looks a little better. But there's a trend right now of directors trying to go back to film like Tarantino or
seeing
was shot on film.
seeing the spool of film that they use for the IMAX.
Oh,
where they-
it's crazy.
Holy moly, we're gonna look at that later. I do it on here, but I'd spell it all wrong. but they're like the size of some small room, like bigger than this room is a reel.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to film tape a whole movie, I would imagine you need a lot
That's
of film for
crazy.
that.
I cannot
crazy.
imagine
is
having to
wild.
edit something on film.
How do you
That
do
sound
that?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Tape and a
Right?
scissors, maybe? I honestly don't know because I do it digitally and I am by no means good at all. But knowing the process and being able to edit a digital file,
Right.
so much easier than I was just sitting there and I'm like, if I had to go through this in like tape form and like have
Right.
an iJewel and
Right.
it sounds
Wow.
awful. I cannot believe that people
X-Acto knife?
iLoop,
Wow.
iLoop, not iJewel.
Well, and then the process of distribution, where they would then replicate that film and literally send a reel of film to every theater that was showing it. It's
That's
like amazing.
crazy.
And film,
No.
like theaters would have multiple reels for a movie, but
Right.
there would be
They
like,
change it
yeah, and they'd change it mid
during
show and you didn't even know. And I don't understand. Now I just like
Huh.
put on a video and press play and then
Interesting.
say that into your microphone.
now everything's digital. So all they have to do is press play and it just, they
Yeah.
don't have to do that anymore.
And editing is so easy with like different
Right.
layers and so easy.
Right.
I mean, I'm not good at it, but I understand the concept of it. Even now, when I edit or have a student learn how to edit this podcast, it puts all the text in there and you can just go through and edit the text and we can remove ums and uhs and all the filler words. We can remove silence. We can remove everything at a press of a button. It is ridiculous how easy that this is probably going to end up being that's coming from her. There's a
Is there a
sound.
beep?
It's okay. No, it was just it
Like a
sounds like the
fan
wind's
sound.
blowing.
Yeah.
I think my heater just turned on.
It's not that bad.
I'm sweating here. It's hot.
Yeah.
We have a rainy day here today. We don't get a lot of those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had a piece of snow the last couple days.
Yeah, it was snowing and it was so light, but we were so happy because we didn't snow at all this year.
None. First
Man.
fall of 2026.
Where were you from? Were you from California?
Yeah. Yeah. I was
You've
raised
never
in La
seen
Cañada,
No.
which is right by Pasadena. Yeah, we don't really get snow. I mean, I go to the snow occasionally, but I didn't grow up in the snow.
You enjoy it? Do you prefer the snow to the sun?
Nope.
No, come on.
I love the sun.
Okay.
I'm a sun girl.
Each their own.
I think while I agree, because I do prefer the snow and the cold and overcast, there are people that live in California probably don't.
That's a lot of people that you're generalizing right
I
now.
am entire state. You're right. I am generalizing an entire state. But if somebody wants to live in Death Valley, I sure hope that they like
Yeah.
the sun
Ugh.
some.
I don't want to live there, but I'm very happy living in Pasadena, where I live now.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
What's your commute like?
It's
You-
awful. It's really bad. I have an hour and a half commute, and it's not good. I work in Culver City, so it's basically on the opposite side of Los Angeles, and it's the worst part of my job is my drive,
Oh.
but I just do it because I have to.
They just build you a
Right,
bridge
and
to go over.
yeah, with all of
Flying
these
cars.
different projects that you're working on and whatnot, does the location of where you're working at day to day change often?
It did
Or it
before I
just-
had a baby. I just had a baby a year ago, so I've specifically
makes
chosen a
sense.
project that I don't have to travel for and that will keep me in town.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, yes, I will. I usually have an office I'm based out of, but once we start filming, we call it going on location. And
Yeah.
depending on wherever we're filming, even if it's in Los Angeles, you might be filming in Malibu one day, and then you go to Pasadena for 3 days and film there.
When I was on set, yeah. I know. Famous
Thor.
actor.
We need a button for every time you mention it.
Right? I need to start
Press
like a
one of the
tick mark.
press the blue one.
Let's see. There's 3 of those.
That one. There we go. Every time.
Wow, nice.
Hey,
Love it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
We actually should we need to come up with a theme, first of all, for the podcast and then put the theme on there so that we can play it in and out. But I can also add
Yeah,
that in
seriously,
post.
though.
But I'd also like
True.
to do it. I forgot my question.
Mm.
It probably wasn't a question. It was, I was an actor. And thank you. I was talking to the producer there and his job was to watch the Seahawks game.
Right.
Yeah, because he didn't do any. This isn't AJ. It's not about you. But all he did, and he even said, like, I just really just, unless something like goes wrong, the producer is just sitting there waiting to put out fires. I thought that was really interesting. Is that most of his work is pre and post,
Okay.
not during the shoot. So, anyways, a little tidbit of Hollywood because I am
An actor.
an actor. That was good.
Nice.
know.
Look at that, you guys.
Amazing.
Yeah, it lined
I
up
knew
well.
you, I knew you'd settle into your
You
comfort
learn
zone.
so fast.
So while it is getting close to our 1 hour mark, we do. I know it does. It literally goes by so fast.
It
and most
did.
was
That's
me
crazy.
talking to you before.
out.
This would be the point where we start like kind of to wrap things up. And this isn't about you. So it's
Got
okay.
it.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Just pretend that I'm not here.
Understood.
You two have to pretend that I am here.
Okay, that's hard. Yeah.
It is because I'm a famous actor. I saw your fingers on it, so I wanted to make sure that you had another
Very
opportunity. I don't know how we should exit the podcast.
Isn't it
Obviously,
improv?
thinking a person. Yeah, absolutely. But what we do want is to say that we can't wait for more people to watch, or maybe if you know anybody that wants to be a sponsor, not you guys specifically, and we don't need to ask the podcast. This will hopefully get edited out. Ideally, we won't have to fundraise because our podcast will make us money. Probably not ever going to make us money. But if it did make us money, it would be so cool to make money doing things like this rather than selling cookies.
Mhm.
And I think that we're doing
Switch it up a
something.
little.
We're doing something kind of unique here, and the opportunity. And literally everybody says yes. No one has ever said no. I don't want to be on your podcast.
I didn't know that.
That's
Oh,
good. As
nobody-
they should.
Nobody's. I am
Good.
very.
Well, I'm thankful for that. That's
Kind
so
of-
cool.
Right.
It's so cool. Like, and that's
You
why
never
I.
know till you reach out.
I literally go to kids and I say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And the person that we have tomorrow, there was a student that wants to be a cosmetologist, and I said, first, that's not the space thing.
Right.
That's the hair,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
makeup, or both.
You're right.
All
I
the
don't know
above.
much about the cosmonaut program.
Yeah, just keep talking, Craig.
Anyways, so I was like, "Hey, what are you doing after school tomorrow? Because we're gonna interview somebody. We're gonna have a podcast guest that does that for a living." And she was like, "Oh, nothing. What do I do?" I said, "You just sit there and talk and ask questions." So we're gonna have another special guest. We'll have a
Oh
fourth
my
person.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yippee!
I
Is
didn't
it
know
going to be a
that.
magical surprise?
I kind of wanted
I'll
to
let it be a surprise.
I don't know.
Sure,
I'll
I
let it
don't
be a
even
surprise.
know.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Tell me.
anyways, that's the idea, right? Is that we talk to somebody that does what I like to say is awesome people and awesome careers.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily about your career; it's about the person, because we want to know things like, and questions that we should be asking throughout are like, is this what you thought you were going to be when you were in school? Because we also want to farm for content for social media and do clips of interesting things that the
Yum,
people
yum,
say.
yum.
Meow meow meow. Is that what you just did?
You said yum, yum, yum.
Oh, yum yum yum.
Love it.
And questions like, was this where you thought you were going to be when you were in high school? Or do you have any advice for any high school students? And then if we can get those questions either out of the way or whatever, because ideally it's organic within the podcast, because that's what we want to kind of focus on, is hearing that there are ways for students that are here in a rural school that it is possible to literally do whatever you want anywhere you want. You just have to go and do it. Because I know the advice that somebody gives, because every time I ask, what advice do you have for high school students, they say, just do more things. Go and do more
Yep.
stuff and talk to more people, because that will get you further than, you don't have to know what you want to be, but you do, and you will rely on your connections.
Yeah,
and
that's what we were talking
and
about earlier. Connections matter so much.
So
Kind of
much
no matter
more
where you end
than-
up going.
No,
It-
it's totally true. And even if you don't have a lot of connections off the bat, just like your podcast is designed for, talking to one person who then you get to understand what they do and why they do it. They then can connect you to similarly minded people who, if you're passionate about something, they're going to want to support that and encourage that. And especially in a world where arts are kind of feeling like they're disappearing, all of us who do creative artistic jobs want to continue to support people doing those jobs so they don't disappear, because it's really important.
And it's
Yeah,
super
it
interesting
is.
because most people that are in creative jobs like this, and the people that have overwhelmingly said yes and want to be, are mostly the creative people.
Mhm.
They actually really like doing what they're doing because they usually have like a skill. Like, I really liked making clothing, so now I'm a costume designer. They probably wouldn't get into that field. That's not usually a field you would get into if you wanted
You're
to.
not like thrust
Without
You
the
with
didn't
passion
wanna
passion
for
you don't
it,
wanna dead
without
end
the desire to
you don't
do
wanna
that
dead
with
end
your life.
yourself or anything. So
Yeah.
you obviously, if you were really into costume design, you probably wouldn't do it in TVs and movies for a living unless that's your only.
Yeah,
But
totally.
we also, and this wouldn't have to be something that would happen during the recording, but since we're here anyways, what I like to do is ask if our guest has anybody that they think would be a great podcast guest with us, because that's how
Ooh, this
we
is
get
fun.
our connections, is by talking to more people. And that's how I got her to be a connection with us, is because one of our previous guests said, "Oh, I actually know."
Yama was on this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I want to bring him on again because we revamped everything in his audio, his AirPods.
AirPod.
Thank you.
Is
Uh,
AirPods
I'm so
right?
old, yet I am in charge of all of the technology for the school, so I don't understand. I don't know how AirPods work, but that's not part of my job. That's not part of my job. It's fine. I want him because
Sure.
his audio was kind of bad, so I couldn't really use a lot of it. So I asked if he wanted to do it again. He said, "Yeah, but make sure you talk to Hannah first." And I said,
I love Yama. He's
so
the best.
yeah, and you're our first guest on this new season 2, episode 1, even
So
though
I know. I heard. That's so cool.
season 0.5
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know if we consider
And-
whatever happened the first time a season.
No, but I have
Whatever
the
that was.
clips. So if they're out there, I have them though, and I have released a couple clips just because I want to get the word out that we're doing it without releasing
Something bad.
it. Well, I mean, no, this went really well, I think. Good job, everybody.
This was really fun.
I think so. Yeah.
I was
And you
saying,
have
right,
been
did
such
great.
a lovely guest and amazing person to talk to.
It was
Like,
really super nice to
yeah.
have you on.
I've learned so much, honestly.
Good. No, thank you guys for having me. This
This is
has
like
been
an
a treat.
organic ending to a podcast, so that is really outstanding
Good.
job. Great. I'm not even gonna have to be here too often, even though now that I've done it, I kind of want to.
It's time to go back to being an actor.
Right?
An
Yeah.
actor.
Me and Lucy got this.
Yeah,
All right.
got
Yeah.
That was really fun.
What am I
And
gonna do?
I
me,
have.
that's what you'll do.
Right.
Or you can sit in
Yeah.
the background and edit our videos.
No, you do that.
Okay, well,
Do the audio. Do the audio or something. So, write down questions.
you can just like sit there. I don't know.
Speaking of questions, I have one last final question
Yeah.
that is very important to me. I was literally in the shower today and I was like thinking of like, what kinds of things that I wanted to ask you during this interview. And this popped into my head and I was like, oh my God, I need to ask this. What are your thoughts and feelings about sequins? As somebody who has worn sequins, done performance in sequins, I want to know if you have any feelings about the
Is it
material.
bad if I don't really know what that is?
Sequins like the
Oh, sequins. I'm sorry. I thought you said sequence. Sequins like glittery things. Oh, girl, I'm like a moth to a flame. I love anything sequin, rhinestone, Swarovski.
Do you get any complaints about people wearing sequins? Because I remember
Yes. From our sound department, because they're loud, and because if you put them anywhere that it touches skin, it really hurts. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time.
I'll probably contact you again, and I'll let you know when we release some stuff.
Sounds good.
And after I edit it, we're probably actually gonna. This is a little off. You know what? Here we go. Bye. Thank you. I'm gonna hit
Oh
this
my
stop
gosh.
button just so. Hold on. Just because it stops. This is Craig with my editor hat on. I didn't make a good outro for this, and I thought it was funny at the time, but I regret my decisions. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next episode. Bye.